Roki Sasaki makes his Cactus League debut. We have 10 things that you need to know about Roki Sasaki and why we might not see him pitch the Dodgers' second game of the season in Tokyo. Also, the Dodgers overcame a lot of injuries en route to a World Series title. We're talking pranks, we're talking roster moves, all that more coming up next on a jam-packed episode of Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You got it, Warrior Parade. We got it, Parade. The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series. Otani starts the 50-50 clock. Milky Magic. Friedman hits the ball to right field. She is gone. Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers show and podcast on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain, credential member of Dodgers Media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. We are Gil Hodges, Kike Hernandez, Delino DeShields, Mike Scioscia days away from Dodgers opening day in Tokyo, Japan. 14 days until opening day arrives. It is coming very quick here. And if you haven't yet, now's the time to subscribe to the channel. We got the season coming. We've got lots of fun and exciting stuff here at Dodgers Nation. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button if you really want to support the channel. But most importantly, drop your comments down below. I want to hear all your takes on all things Dodger baseball. And also drop a Rookie of the Year down below so you're eligible for our biggest next giveaway. That is a number 11 authentic Roki Sasaki jersey. So all you have to do to be eligible, subscribe to the channel, have the notification bell on, and comment Rookie of the Year down below. That's all you need to do. Also, subscribe to our new Discord channel. Lots of exciting stuff over on the Discord channel. We've got behind-the-scenes merch. We've got exclusive merch, behind-the-scenes content, interviews, Q&As. We're going to have call-ins to Dodgers Dugout Live. You're going to get the lineup as soon as it drops, some insider stuff over there as well. So definitely join the Discord channel. Also, drop your comments during this. This is a live show. We've got Tony Taters rocking with us. He's looking for your comments of the show, and we'll feature all of your questions later when we answer all your hard-hitting questions about your boys in blue over on the 7th inning stretch. But of course, every episode starts with the leadoff.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
So the hottest story in Dodger baseball is that Roki Sasaki, the 23-year-old Japanese phenom pitcher, the #1 prospect on the planet, is making his Cactus League debut tonight. A 5:05 first pitch in LA time, a little later in Arizona, and he will be coming in after Yoshinobu Yamamoto makes his start. We talked about it yesterday that a lot of this has to do with, it's a little bit more of a softer landing, comfortable, might not be facing as many top of the lineup big league level hitters, maybe the bottom of the order, but still he is going to be facing big league hitters in a big league spring training game for the first time in his career. Now, the big question surrounding Roki Sasaki at this point, the million-dollar question really for the Dodgers right now in spring training is, will Roki Sasaki be getting the ball in the Dodgers' second game of the season in Tokyo? The Cubs are going to be likely going with Justin Steele. Dave Roberts has already said Yamamoto is getting the ball facing off against Imanaga in the first game, but will it be Roki Sasaki? Now, Dave has not gone 100% on this. He's not gone 100%, said he is getting the ball. What has to happen from now until then is he has to check off boxes. He already checked off a big box in making his spring training debut in a hybrid B game against the White Sox. And minor leaguer hit a home run off him, but he showed some dominant stuff. The splitter was there. The fastball was alive. He gave up a leadoff home run, but did pitch in 3 innings. Now, the big box tonight is that he gets through his first Cactus League game, and he's be coming out of that bullpen facing off against the Reds tonight. Now, Dave Roberts has said that Roki is likely to go if everything goes as planned. That is the hope. They want him on the mound. Baseball wants him on the mound. An entire country of Japan wants him on the mound. It'd be great for the sport, great for the Dodgers. Whether or not it's great for Roki, that's still to be determined. But still, it's a 162-game season. And I think if you're going to place his entire career on that, let's pump the brakes, right? And I did ask you guys over on the X today, the Dodgers Nation, Dodgers Dugout Live poll question of the show is, how will Roki Sasaki's career pan out? And yes, he hasn't even pitched in his first game. This is way too early to be thinking about this stuff, but hey, it's fun. What does your gut tell you? And a lot of this is health related, right? But right now, 27% of Dodgers fans say that he ends up in Cooperstown, that he makes it to the Hall of Fame one day. 55% of Dodgers fans say that he'll be a multi-time All-Star. 14% of Dodgers fans say that he'll be an average big league starter. And 4% say that he will be a bust. I'm guessing that is just Padres fans punching air right now. Okay, they're mad. They're mad for a reason. I'd be mad too if I was a Padres fan. But yeah, I mean, that would be if injuries take its toll on him. But it's going to be a historic event. I mean, it is the 25th anniversary of the first regular season game that you ever had in the history of Major League Baseball in Japan. You had the Cubs and the Mets 25 years ago. Cubs are back, but this time they're not playing the Mets. They're playing the Dodgers. And Roki has talked a little bit about how significant of a moment this would be for him to get the start in Tokyo. He said, obviously, the opportunity to open a major league season in Japan itself is rare. Being able to do that as a rookie is even more special. So right now, I'm just focused on preparing for that. So he understands the significance. He knows that it is going to be special. But let's not forget, this is someone who signed a minor league contract with the Dodgers during the international signing period. It is someone that signed a $6.5 million signing bonus, right? He got $6.5 million in a signing bonus, and he turned down bigger deals, more money, even though it was not as significant, from the Padres and the Toronto Blue Jays because he wanted to join the Dodgers. And I think a part of the reason why he did that was, one, it's not about the money for Roki. There's sponsorship opportunities that will be available to him as a Dodger that won't be potentially for the Padres and the Blue Jays. And then two, it's the comfort factor. I truly believe that one of the biggest factors that he joined this organization was because he doesn't have to be the guy right out of the gates. Well, if you give the ball in game 2, he's the guy, right? I mean, because of the situation, the circumstances, and all the pomp and circumstance that come with playing in a regular season game in Japan. So there's that. And if he doesn't look ready, if he doesn't feel ready, if they don't think he's ready, he's not going to be making the start. I was told by someone from the organization yesterday that it's not a lock. It's not a lock that he's going to be getting a start, but they do want to see that happen. They're looking for reasons to give him the ball in game 2, not reasons against it, right? They want him to succeed. They want to have him make it look as though they're not doing an irresponsible thing by putting him in a suboptimal situation that he's not going to have success, right? I mean, the last thing that Roki Sasaki would want would be to struggle in his big league debut in front of 45,000 fans in the Tokyo Dome, right? You don't want to do that. Last year, though, Yamamoto did that in Korea, struggled in his debut, and then would go on to have a really nice season and look like a future ace when he was on the mound. So you can't overcome it. I hope he gets the ball because I just think it'd be special for the sport and Major League Baseball. And I think for me, you kind of have to understand that, look, there's guys that are practice players, and then there's guys that when the lights turn on and the lights get bright, just something happens. Just something happens. I mean, you've heard about in-game shooters, right? I mean, he could be an in-game shooter. Someone that when the game starts, something happens And he's that Roki Sasaki that we saw for so many years in the NPB and also in the WBC. So I think that he's going to get the ball, but let's say he doesn't. Oh, sorry, Dodgers fans. You just have another ace in Tyler Glass now. Oh, sorry, Dodgers fans. It's just a Blake Snell, a 2-time Cy Young Award winner. Oh, come on. These are the ultimate champagne problems. Okay, it's, oh, sorry you don't get to take the Lamborghini today, but you can't take the Bentley or the Rolls Royce, right? So point of that is to say that even if you don't see Roki Sasaki, seeing Tyler Glass now on the bump, seeing Blake Snell potentially on the bump would be special. I think it'd be Tyler Glass now if it's not Roki Sasaki, but let's all hope it is Roki in Japan. But coming up next, I've got 10 things that you need to know about Roki Sasaki. We're going to do a deep dive at Roki Sasaki, 10 things that all Dodgers fans need to know heading into his first start of his big league career in Cactus League play. So exciting. It's Roki Day here in Major League Baseball. What up, Dodgers Nation? D-Mac here to remind you that if you have not yet, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Dugout Live podcast. You can find it wherever you get your podcast. So if you want to listen to the show in audio form, when you're driving to Dodgers Stadium, when you're driving from Dodgers Stadium, when you're commuting to work, wherever it is, you definitely want to lock into the podcast. We're going to start featuring some podcast exclusives, interviews. So definitely, even if you do watch the show daily on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Dugout Live podcast wherever your podcast. So be sure to do that. It really supports the channel. And as always, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out. And we are back here on Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers show and podcast on YouTube. Got some chats down below. Larry Scott says, gotta wait all effing day for the damn game. Yeah, that's a fact. That hurts, man. We got Floyd Lovato game tonight, worth the wait. Yamamoto for 3 innings. Then we get the mighty Roki. Then we get the Dogs to finish them off. It's poetry in motion or what? Anthony says, I think if he has a decent outing tonight, he can potentially be a lock for Tokyo series if he doesn't need to go 7, but he can start that game and give us a solid 3 or 4 innings. We got plenty of arms. Fantastic point. We talked about that yesterday. You don't need him to go 6 or 7. If he does go a solid 3 or 4, you have a complement of arms, the way you can use the roster in Japan like we saw last season, right? In Korea, that you will be able to use relievers that can hold that down because it's March 18th and 19th. Then you get the break, and then you get to play another tune-up series against the Angels before domestic opening day. So that's a great point. You're not looking for a complete game shutout from Roki Sasaki. You're just looking for something to get his feet wet, to excite the crowd, flash his stuff. And I think a perfect scenario would be just 3 or 4 innings, get you 6 or 7 strikeouts, and just show that devastating splitter and fastball and get him out of there. I love that you bring that up. Benjamin Susun, Dodgers have Snell, Yamamoto, Glass now, May, Gonsolin, healthy starters, Knack, Miller, Kasperius. Also, no need to rush Roki. I think it might be good for Roki to spend at least 2 weeks in OKC at the beginning of the year. So I did hear some talk about that, some rumblings about that possibility early on. And sure, it's a luxury that they do have because the depth in this organization, the guys you mentioned, can certainly be more than respectable on the mound as he prepares. But if they want to start him at the bigs, they want to start him in the rotation just to accelerate the process because they're going to go to a 6-man rotation when Shohei Otani returns. So to have him in the fold, see what he has early, I think it's more of a matter of, let's start him early, see what we have, and then make adjustments there versus if he's starting down in AAA or anything like that, it's not going to be, I don't think, that fruitful for him because it'd be more adjusting after seeing if it doesn't work out versus having him ramp up and see, because eventually he's going to face big league hitters. And you have to see how he fares from that standpoint. But now we got 10 things you need to know about Roki Sasaki. So buckle up, did a deep dive. And the first thing that you need to know is that he is going to have one of the highest velocity fastballs in the sport right out of the gates. His 4-seamer in the WBC clocked in at 100.3 miles per hour on average. He topped out at 101.9 miles per hour. He hit that 3 times during the WBC. 47 of his 65 heaters, around 72%, were 100 miles per hour or more. 12 of those were at least 101 miles per hour. That is electric, explosive velocity. The only pitcher you could compare him to from a fastball velocity standpoint is Paul Skeens. Last season, Paul Skeens threw 100 pitches at 100 miles per hour or faster during his rookie season. He's the only guy that's sitting at Roki's table, or you could say the vice versa, Roki sitting at Paul Skeens' table in year one. He's the only guy. And if you look at some of his highlights from the WBC, if you want to roll some of those, a 101.8 mile per hour fastball just absolutely smoked Randy Arozarena. Just absolutely smoked Randy Arozarena. He didn't even get creative. He threw it right down the middle, just actually blew him away with it. Arozarena had no chance whatsoever. Just no chance whatsoever, smoking him with that. Look at that heater right there. Absolutely explosive. Had the arm side run on it as well. You got no chance. No chance against a heater like that. He also got whiffs on that four-seam fastball pretty regularly, and that was against big league hitters. And it's not just the speed and velocity, it's the movement. He's got above average ride on it. During the WBC, averaged 17 inches of induced vertical break. That would be above average. That gives you that perceived rise that really is a thorn in big league hitters, right? I mean, they do not like to see that perceived rise. And he also has 12 inches of arm side run. So you're looking at 17 inches of induced vertical break, 12 inches of arm side run. So it does move more than a military family. And it also has the velocity. And then you look at the current state of the fastball. That's the big question heading into this season, because part of the homework assignment that Roki Sasaki gave to teams was, my velocity was down last season. How are you going to get it back up? Last season in the NPB, his fastball averaged just under 97 miles per hour. So that is a lot less than the 99 miles per hour that he averaged throughout the 2023 season in the NPB. And a lot of this was due to injury. He was dealing with an oblique injury. He had some soreness, had some shoulder fatigue. There are also some theories out there that he wanted to save his bullets for the show, right? That he knew that he was going to make it to the show in 2025. So maybe he held back a little bit. But that fastball has the potential to be right up there with Paul Skeens for best, most effective, most explosive fastball in all of Major League Baseball. Now, the second thing you need to know is Paul Skeens might have a better fastball potentially, but right out of the gates, day one, Roki Sasaki is going to have the best splitter in the sport. His splitter during the WBC averaged 90.9 miles per hour. He threw it as hard as 93. I'll never forget that at bat against Alex Verdugo and the look on Verdugo's face when he swung and missed at a 93 mile per hour splitter. It looked like a cheat code. And only 3 major league starters last year threw splitters that averaged over 90 miles per hour or more. Jose Soriano, Taj Bradley, and then Yoshinobu Yamamoto. So it's already rare, but his can pump up to 93. Now, you can include the splinker with Paul Skeens, and that averaged 94, but it's a little bit of a different it's a different pitch. It gets charted as a sinker and not a splitter, but this thing drops. This thing drops. Averages 33 inches of downward vertical movement. During the WBC, it looked absolutely lethal. And what makes it extra special and extra unique is it's not just that 33 inches of drop. It's the fact that it has this unique fade where sometimes it fades east, sometimes it fades west. So it has a horizontal movement element to it as well. And during the WBC, it had a 60% whiff rate. He had 18 whiffs on 30 swings, got 8 strikeouts with the pitch. And in 2023, it had a 52% whiff rate. And in 2024, in the NPB, had a 57% whiff rate. That is well above average. That is almost double what we see in the show. So the splitter is going to be world famous from day one. Third thing you need to know, Third thing you need to know is that to really have him realize his potential and be the best pitcher in the sport, to win multiple Cy Youngs, yes, that fastball, yes, that splitter is extra special. Those two pitches alone are such plus pitches, 80 grade level, that he could still be an all-star pitcher. But what's going to take him to the next level is an effective slider. And his slider has the potential to be a plus pitch, 6 inches of horizontal break. It's a tight, firm slider. The velo did go down in 2023 and 2024. It was 84 miles per hour last year, and in 2023 it was 88. But he has thrown it at an 88 to 90 mile per hour range. So that's kind of the thing I'm looking for early on, is what's the velo looking like on that slider? How have the Dodgers changed anything from the grip to the shape? The Dodgers can teach the slider better than any organization in the sport. So he is going to be a happily married man, but the question is, will he have a slide piece? And that's going to be the biggest thing for him in his future. Now, fourth thing you need to know. He threw a perfect game in the NPB, and then he followed that up with 8 perfect innings in his next outing. On April 10, 2022, Roki Sasaki threw a perfect game for the Chibalote Marines against the Oryx Buffaloes in Chiba City, and there hasn't been a perfect game in Major League Baseball since Felix Hernandez in 2012. There hadn't been a perfect game in the NPB since Hiromi Makahara's for the Yomiuri Giants in 1994. It was the 16th perfect game in NPB history. He tied the NPB single game strikeout record with 19 strikeouts. He had 19 strikeouts in that game. And get this, he punched out 13 consecutive batters at one point. He had a stretch of 13 straight strikeouts. He finished the game throwing 105 pitches, first perfect game in a long, long time. And he had a game score of 106. 106 game score. The highest game score in big league history is Kerry Wood's 105 in his 20 strikeout game in 1998. So you have a perfect game, highest game score. Is he done? No. Very next start, April 17th, he pitched 8 perfect innings against the Nippon Ham Fighters. And against the Ham Fighters, he was so good that his manager took him out in the 9th inning. I mean, that was a bold decision because they didn't want to overwork him. He's still young, but he had pitched 8 perfect innings against the Ham Fighters, and he would have became the only pitcher to throw 2 consecutive perfect games. I mean, doesn't seem real. He had 14 strikeouts on 102 pitches. He struck out the side in the 8th inning and was still throwing 101 miles per hour in the 8th inning. He ended up retiring 52 consecutive batters. It was an NPB record. So you see the dominance. You see the dominance of a Roki Sasaki, the sheer absolute ability to impose his will, the dominance that has the potential to make him not just a multi-time Cy Young Award winner, but maybe an MVP, maybe a first ballot Hall of Famer. That's how high the ceiling is. After the game, Roki said, "This is the greatest. I feel on top of the world." And if you go to Cooperstown, the Baseball Hall of Fame, there's an autographed ball from Roki Sasaki's perfect game that is in Cooperstown. So really cool to see that. The fifth thing you need to know, he broke Shohei Otani's velocity record in high school. And as a pitcher, he is considered to be the better prospect at this stage of his career, the bigger phenom on the bump than Shohei was when he came to the show. Roki Sasaki set the Japanese high school record when he threw a 101 mile per hour fastball. That broke Shohei Otani's, who threw a 99 mile per hour fastball. And Otani, of course, he'll go on to be an elite pitcher in baseball, an MVP, a multi-time MVP, someone who's widely considered to be the most talented player ever. But Roki Sasaki's fastball topped his in high school. Shohei for the Hanamaki Higashi High School that summer, 2012, he threw 99. Roki threw 101. I mean, that is unbelievable velocity at that age. Number sixth thing you need to know is Dodgers president of baseball operations has been scouting him for multiple years. The Dodgers have been scouting him since he was a teenager, making multiple trips over to Japan to watch him pitch in person. Friedman saw him last year in person, and Andrew Friedman said, he told us in Dallas, quote, he has talked about his desire to be the best pitcher in the world, and we believe he's capable of being the best pitcher in the world. Roki said, I want to become a number one pitcher. I want to be the player whose name fans say when they're asked who is number one. He wants to be the best pitcher in baseball, go down as one of the best pitchers of all time. He has those expectations for himself. And here was Roki Sasaki, or here was Andrew Friedman talking about Roki Sasaki at Dodgers Fest. And you can just see the look on his face, the smile on his face, how excited he is to have a pitcher with this kind of potential in this organization for, mind you, less than $10 million. Here's Andrew Friedman talking Roki Sasaki.
Could you guys walk us through it and give us some information, a little bit of insight? The signing of Roki, when did you guys find out that it was a done deal? Kind of walk us through that process.
Yeah, a lot went into it. Obviously, I've been scouting him for years, like all teams, and he is incredibly talented. And watching him over the years, the compete was off the charts. Our scouts just kept raving about the guy, the upside, the ability, the potential. And so, you know, when he got posted officially, kicked into high gear from groups from different departments, our pitching group, our analysts, our performance science, he posed a homework question that, to the teams that he met with of why did my velocity go down last year and how are you guys as an organization set up to help me? And we were like, yes, that's awesome that he asked that because A, it shows a curiosity, and B, we felt like that was right in our wheelhouse. And the way our training staff, performance group, pitching group all worked together, we had the opportunity to display that and show it to him firsthand. And so went through that. The first meeting, we weren't allowed to bring any players. And so the second meeting, we were allowed to bring players, and not just the players who showed up, but the number of players who sent in a video. As we were talking about it, the question that we thought could go through Roki's mind is, okay, I think LA, the city, the fan base, the team, the group are really well positioned and situated for me, but how will the guys feel? How will I be welcomed in the clubhouse? And so I think we had 19 or 20 guys either at the meeting or on video, basically with the same message. Dodgers treat players really well. They treat our families really well. They help make us better, and we really want you to be our teammate. And so having that many guys say that, I think really resonated with them. And then as we were waiting, it was hard. We didn't have much attention span the day that we thought Roki was going to make the decision. Couldn't really focus on anything, just staring at our phone, waiting for his agent, Joel Wolf, to call, and got a text from Shohei, who had obviously talked to Roki, and said, we got him.
So you just see that smile on his face. And yeah, if you go back, I kind of want to put this picture up there, but if you go back and watch my interview with Friedman from Korea last year, at the end of the interview, I joked to him. I said, hey, don't worry, Andrew. I'm not going to show you a picture of Roki Sasaki wearing a Dodgers jersey. And he just had the biggest smile on his face, was laughing, and it almost felt like he knew. He knew. This is a man who gets what he wants. This is a man that doesn't even almost need to have a plan B at this point because the plan A just is working out for him. And I'm sure that the expectations are certainly there, but Friedman is someone that the international prospects trust. He is. And this organization has developed a level of trust with players from Japan that's evidenced by the signings. So don't lose sight of that. Don't lose sight of just there is a sales job element to all this. I mean, at some point during these signings, these negotiations, it comes down to Andrew Friedman and company sitting in a room with this player and this agent, and earning their trust. So they've been able to do that. And I think that that's something that is invaluable. You look at Shohei Otani's contract. He literally has a part of his contract that states that if Andrew Friedman is gone, he can get out of his contract. That tells you how much players trust Andrew Friedman and they trust his vision in putting talent around them so they can compete for World Series championships, but also that they care about their career, that they're going to put them on the IL when they think they need to be there, that they're not going to thrust them into situations that they're going to think are going to be effective. So I think that's just a massive, massive thing that doesn't get talked about enough is the trust level that guys like Andrew Friedman have just instilled in these agents and these players that has this pipeline opened up, man. It's just incredible. Now, next thing you need to know about Roki Sasaki, the seventh thing you need to know, his nickname, he's got a great nickname. Love a great nickname. His nickname is the Monster of the Reiwa Era. And that is a tribute to Daisuke Matsusaka's nickname that was the Monster of the Heisei, referring to the different eras of the Japanese calendar. And the Reiwa era is the current era of the Japanese calendars that you're seeing right now. And it's the current era of the Japanese calendar that we're in. It started in 2019. And this was even before he was throwing in the NPB. And it is homage to Daisuke Matsusaka. So I think it's really cool just to see that lineage, the homage, the tribute to the past. It's just awesome. I mean, the monster. I mean, you could shorten it to just the monster. Roki, the Monster of the Reiwa Era. That's how hitters are going to view him. That's how he kind of views himself. And let's hope he's a monster on the mound for the Dodgers for, at the very least, the next 6 years. Hopefully his entire career. Next thing you need to know, the eighth thing you need to know about Roki Sasaki is that he's lived through a tragedy. And if you watch the World Baseball Classic a couple years ago, his first start of the WBC on March 11th, it was an emotional day because it came on the anniversary of the 2011 earthquake and tsunami in Japan, where Roki tragically lost his father and his grandparents in that tsunami. He also lost his family's house. It was just completely swept away. He lost all of that in his tsunami. And his manager said about him that day that it's hard to explain. And he would go on to say, but to me, it's as if he's throwing his soul, not the baseball. So he carries this with him, and it's clearly been a major part of his career trajectory, just this moment and overcoming that tragedy that he dealt with for so many years. And he even said that baseball has helped him through that tragedy. He said years back that, quote, I was happiest playing baseball because I could lose myself for stretches of time. I felt I was able to give my best even through hard times and heartbreaking times. I've been able to dedicate myself to baseball thanks to the support I've had. I only have the sense of gratitude to those who've supported me. So just an unthinkable tragedy, just heartbreaking beyond belief, just an indescribable tragedy. And he leaned on baseball to help him get through that. And he said it was the happiest that he's been. The happiest times for him are when he is pitching, when he is playing baseball. And he would go on to a high school that he would surround himself. He went to the Ofunaru High School, which is considered to be Japan's premier program, the powerhouse. And there he really was able to get through that and use baseball to help him get through that. So I just think that's a major part of his story that just can't be ignored, just to kind of peel back the layers and understand the person behind it. Now, the next thing you need to know, the ninth thing, Roki has a black toy poodle named Ramu. Let's check out Ramu here. And he loves his dog. Look at that Ramu. There's his dog right there. During his introductory press conference, he actually had socks. He had socks that had pictures of his dog on them. So, I mean, my big question is Decoy going to teach him how to throw out the first pitch? Will we see a Ramu first pitch? I think that, to me, is going to be an exciting moment. The 10th thing you need to know is he wants to try the best burger in Los Angeles. The food that he's most excited to try is a burger. He wants to try a good old American burger, good old American cheeseburger. Let me know down below, if Roki was going to ask you for your burger recommendation, what would it be? I had For the Win yesterday. For the Win goes pretty hard. Little double cheeseburger, some grilled onions. But let me know down below. But coming up next, we've got the 7th inning stretch. The 7th, actually, next, I'm going to actually play an interview with Tanner Scott, and then we'll go to the 7th inning stretch. That's coming up next here on Dodgers Dugout Live. And welcome back to Dodgers Dugout Live, presented by GearUp.la. Go to GearUp.la for all of your Dodgers t-shirt needs. Got some new merch. Got the Run It Back Teo shirt. Got the Freddie Me Gibby shirt during spring training. I saw a lot of fans wearing Dodgers Nation merch. Thought that was cool. We're cooking up some new shirts, so be on the lookout for future drops. Go over to GearUp.la. Supports the channel, supports the podcast. And if you guys got any t-shirt ideas, throw them my way. We'll make your t-shirt dreams into a reality. So go to Gear. I love this Gibby Meet Freddie one because every time I see it, I relive the home run in my mind. So I love this one. I designed the one that has Kike Hernandez's WDGAF. You got the goggles there. The Hey, are we live? We don't give a F. So go get some merch over at GearUp.la. Subscribe to the Discord channel. Hit the like button for the YouTube channel. And then if you want to do me the biggest favor you can do me, go to the Big Lead One. It's my new YouTube channel, my new show. It's about all sports. Anything that's hot in the world of sports, we'll be talking about it over there. So we'll be talking a lot of Dodgers interviews. Go over to the Big Lead One today. Just getting started with that. And it would really mean a lot if you guys want to support me, support the channel. You go over there, subscribe. You can comment Roki Sasaki over there too, Roki of the Year. But so I want to talk about Tanner Scott because I got a chance to talk to Tanner Scott, and the word dog as the way to describe a bullpen reliever was very, very fitting for this team last year, the way they stepped up in such a big way and helped carry this team to a World Series title. But what we saw with Tanner Scott during this interview, I just could feel he's just a snarling dog that wants to get on the mound and help this team win games. But here's my conversation with new Dodgers reliever Tanner Scott. We got Tanner Scott up there. And we're here with the newest Dodgers star reliever, super closer, Tanner Scott. Tanner, first thing, just how you feeling this spring?
Good. I feel really good coming in, and it's going to be an exciting, fun year.
Yeah, and we just coming from that Roki Sasaki live BP. Have you ever seen that many people with an organization there for a live BP?
No, I don't even know what I would do on the mound if that many people were watching, but especially for his first live BP, it was really cool to see. He's got some great stuff.
Anything kind of stick out with that splitter? Or?
Splitter's really good, but his fastball, he's got a live arm, so it's going to be fun to see.
And speaking of someone who has an explosive fastball, explosive slider, I mean, you're someone that has that slider in the 90s, that fastball in the 90s. Do you think that's going to be pretty consistent with this organization?
Yeah, I mean, everyone in our bullpen is pretty great, and every one of our starters is great as well. So it's going to be exciting to see. I mean, we got a lot of really good arms here.
Yeah, and then Brandon kind of mentioned, Dave kind of mentioned you kind of getting the lion's share of the closing opportunities. Do you feel most comfortable in those situations where you're getting the save, or do you kind of feel like, okay, you can plug me into any high leverage situation?
I just want to win. So whenever the phone rings, I'm ready.
Does the title closer mean anything at this point? Like,
no, I just want to win. I just want to win. That's my goal. And I mean, I wasn't a part of it last year, and I want to be a part of it this year. So it's gonna be fun.
And you look at the bullpen you guys have, so many stars. How big of a factor was that for you to kind of join this bullpen? That last season they played such a big role there in the postseason. They call them the Dogs. I mean, did you kind of take that into account when you were kind of looking to sign with this team?
Yeah, I mean, I took everything into account. What's best for my family, what's best for me and my career, and it's a great organization, and I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, would you say the number one factor for signing here was just going after that World Series?
Definitely. I want to win.
Awesome. Well, Tanner, thank you so much. Congratulations on signing here. We're so happy to have you here with the Dodgers, man.
Thank you.
Tanner Scott's been one of the best relievers in baseball for the last couple of seasons, and he's most likely going to get the lion's share of save opportunities for this team. And I thought the interesting thing he said there was he wasn't a part of it last year, wants to be a part of it this year. And he was on that Padres team that lost to the Dodgers, so that's why he wasn't a part of it, because the Dodgers were in front of him. So he joins that team that beat the team that he was on, and it's clear that he wants to play in the World Series, win a World Series, compete at the highest level on the biggest stage. So very, very excited about Tanner Scott, the best free agent reliever available. Went to the Dodgers. I was telling you all off season, they're going to sign Tanner Scott. I'm very confident about it because they did not want to have to trade for a top-level reliever during the season. They wanted to get their Christmas shopping done early during the offseason. They certainly did that with Tanner Scott. Now, let's hit some super chats. Let's hit some chats. Let's hear everything you got to say. I want your Burger Rex too. That's coming up next here on the 7th Inning Stretch.
The 7th Inning Stretch.
Any comments, show stuff? And we've got BC hate night games in the spring, WTF. I kind of like them occasionally, especially because we got the morning show. I'm not totally opposed to them. I like the Friday night games. Tonight's okay for one. We've got Beer Sama Roki getting a future in In-N-Out sponsorship. I like that. Benjamin Sun says 4x4 with animal fries and a large lemonade. There we go. AM Sanchez, Pie and Burger. Pie and Burger is really good. Pasadena, right there off Lake Avenue. In-N-Out single animal style with a strawberry shake. Monte Carlo 10. Tanner Scott just wants to win. Yeah, he just wants to win. I mean, that could be that. I could ask him any question, man. Hey, Tanner, man, what's your favorite burger in Los Angeles? I just want to win. I just want to win. We got Raleigh Alvarez. Can you imagine Dustin May becoming a Cy Young candidate? Absolutely, I could. That's his ceiling. His ceiling is an all-star starter. It's just health. If he can stay healthy for an entire season, if you could guarantee me his health, I think he could be an all-star. Cy Young, that's best pitcher in the league. I would need to see a really good all-star season, build off that, the potential for that. But certainly, if he would stay healthy, his ceiling is Cy Young. You can't say that for a lot of pitchers in baseball. But the stuff is so good for Dustin May that he's one of those guys that you could say that about. BT Fouts bacon cheeseburger from Lucky Boy. There you go. And a breakfast burrito on the side. Luis Gonzalez, Tommy's Chili Burger, Strider Hear You 120, D-Mac 4x4 animal style and animal style fries in his shake. Joseph Edwards says, Chris Taylor reminds me of that coach's son in high school, starting with a .97 batting average. Yeah, look, I mean, you guys know my thoughts on Chris Taylor. He is someone that I don't think is going to hurt this team as much as he's talked about. I think that based on what I've heard is they're going to give him an opportunity early in the year, see what he does with that. Is he someone that's going to impact the team with the bat off the bench? I don't think so. I mean, if you're looking for a pinch hitter, the name Chris Taylor coming off the bench right now doesn't excite you very much. It's more of, hey, if you need him as a depth piece that can play multiple positions on the infield, multiple positions in the outfield, he's a depth piece. If someone goes down with an injury, then Chris Taylor certainly has value. But they're going to see what he has early on the season to determine his fate. They still owe him $13 million. Now, for a team that's going to spend $500 million on your roster, yeah, I mean, that is pennies. It's a drop in the bucket for that. But they don't want to have to do that. They do not have to. And here's another thing, too. The thing with Chris Taylor is, look, some of these young guys that you're still developing, they need everyday at-bats. Chris Taylor does not need everyday at-bats. He understands his role. Couple of bats every now and then. He's a depth piece. He's fine with that. And the last thing I want to say about Chris Taylor is this, is yes, is he deserve to be on the roster right now based on his performance compared to some of the other guys? I think that even the biggest Chris Taylor fans, I don't think would say yes, right? Because there's other guys I think deserves opportunities ahead of him based on recent production. I will say he did hit over 300 his last 6 weeks of the season. He has made some mechanical changes that we've talked about on the show, and we just have to see how they look like in games. And he's a veteran, so I think he does deserve an opportunity. But like I said, I think this show I like to separate what I want to happen, what I think is going to happen. What I think is going to happen is he's going to start the year on the opening day roster, and they're going to figure things out from there based on performance. But he will not be someone that, look, let's say the Dodgers lose the World Series, or let's say the Dodgers lose next year in the postseason at any point. Here's a question that's not going to be asked. I won't be there asking Andrew Friedman, hey, Andrew, do you think that having Chris Taylor on the roster was the reason why the Dodgers didn't win this season? I wouldn't ask that question because it would be a ridiculous question, right? It wouldn't make sense. So it's not going to ultimately determine the Dodgers' fate. We got to Dread Scott saying Flying Dutchman, fry light, large chocolate strawberry. You guys are making me hungry. I love it though. Luis Gonzalez, but if he wants pastrami, the hat. Joseph Edwards with the offense. Any pitcher is a Cy Young candidate. So I like that point right there. Carlos said Taco Tuesday, Dodger baseball tonight. D-Mac, I've seen your face for 3 years now. How do you keep looking younger? Hey, man, I don't know, man. Give a comment to the show for that, though. I mean, drink a lot of water, I guess. I don't know. I'm in the sun a lot, too. I don't even know. Noise by Noel. What's up, Noise by Noel? Young Lotto's on the IL today. He's feeling sick, wishing better. Drinking some chicken soup for our Noel. We got the D-Mac looking like a baby-faced assassin with that all-black fit today. Okay, I like that. I like that. Fire take. Beer Sama Skeens gonna get lit up this season. Now it's Roki's time. Hey, bro, true speaker. Japanese people are so eloquent. He was throwing his soul. Yeah, I mean, that quote, right? That quote was a lot. We've got Strider, Hear You 120. D-Mac, I love Roki's goal of wanting to be the number one pitcher, but I'm glad the Dodgers are not throwing him out there, putting pressure right away on Roki. That will be great. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that is one of the biggest reasons why I think he signed here. He does not have to be the man. And we got a $10 super chat from our guy, Bill Connolly out there. It says, D-Mac, the problem is CT3's lack of contact. I would give him about 100 ABs at the beginning of the season and DFA him if nothing turns around. Even with that, not many ABs, the strikeouts are killers. Yeah, and look, that is the thing. The last 6 weeks of the season, the strikeouts had gone down a little bit. The contact had gone up. I did speak to Dave Roberts specifically about Chris Taylor. I asked him about the role that he would have on this team, and he said, I don't know. So for Dave Roberts to say that, I think is telling, because years past, he would say, oh, Chris is a guy that we know we can play at second and short and third and multiple outfield positions, using as a bench bat off the bench and this type of stuff. He didn't say that stuff. He didn't commit to that. Another factor there, he's getting close to 10 years of service time. I do think that is a factor. I do. Abstract 199 super chat. CT3 got to get that Game Genie Unlimited Lives code. Oh my goodness. ABACAB, left, right, up, right, down, was it? But that Game Genie was crazy. You know you were balling if you had that thing. Yeah, you know you're balling. Bob Connolly, I think Roki has more of a leash than people might think at the beginning of the season. Dodgers want to see how he does when he's roughed up by MLB hitters. How does he bounce back? Yeah, exactly. That's the number one thing. And Dave said this too. He said that, hey, the great players, the great pitchers, they know how to take a punch. And we've seen that throughout great players' careers. You are going to give up home runs in big moments and not be at your best every single game. Save for Sandy Koufax really in the postseason. But for the most part, you're going to have some bumps and bruisers, and you're going to have to adjust accordingly. Will Dave Roberts from Joe Megazzani, will Dave Roberts be the highest paid manager in baseball, and when will they get a deal done? We're waiting on that. I hope that they need to get that deal done. I don't know. I mean, maybe after Roki's first start, maybe a Friday news dump, something. I think this week should be the week that you get a deal done. They've been in negotiations for a little while now. There's no doubt that they're going to sign him to a long-term deal. Dave Roberts did say recently, though, that it's not his number one goal to be the highest paid manager in baseball. Doc said, quote, but it's not a goal to be the highest paid manager. If that is how it falls out, then fine. But that's not why I do my job. I do my job because I love baseball. I love the Dodgers and I love the players. But I do feel the body of work is pretty dang good. So he would talk about his value too. He said that I just think that it all comes down to value. And I think whatever anyone does, they want their value. That's kind of where I'm at. I hope that things get done. So he's going to get done. They're going to get a deal done with Doc. And it has to be more than the 5-year, $40 million deal that Craig Counsell signed. Like I said, Dave owes it to the other managers in baseball. Matt Leiter says if Roki wants to be the best pitcher of all time, he's first got to go through Ben Kasperius. That's a hot take. That's a hot take right there. Monte Carlo 10. I want to see Blake Snell in Dodger blue on the mound in Dodger Stadium. Yeah, I think that is where we're going to see Blake Snell. First of all, he has one of the best career ERAs at Dodgers Stadium. He's always pitched so well in the friendly confines at Chavez Ravine. Let's talk to Tony Taters. How excited do you see Blake Snell? I feel like feel like you could be a big Blake Snell guy.
You know, I'm starting to warm up to Blake Snell. I got to admit, I was more interested in Max Fried. Dodgers going for Max Fried. I got to be honest, you know, it's on the record on the show anyway. But it's going to be exciting. You know, I was actually watching his no-hitter, all 27 outs of his no-hitter the other night. And I mean, exciting. I mean, I really do believe, like your prediction, he could be the next Dodger to hit the no-hitter. So,
okay, what's your prediction for that? Who do you think will be the next Dodger to throw a no-hitter? And you guys can drop that down below too.
I'm going to say current lineup, besides Blake Snell, it could be Yoshinobu Yamamoto for sure. I can see him getting an immaculate inning also, but we'll see. I just can't wait to see what happens. Just let us know what you guys think.
I like that take. I like the Yamamoto take. He hasn't been as efficient in the show as he's been in his career, like we saw in the NPB. But if the efficiency gets there, the stuff is absolutely no hit, perfect game level stuff. Just ask the Bronx Bombers when he dominated them. But let's go back down the comments. Like I said, this is the 7th inning stretch, guys, answering all your hard-hitting questions about your boys and blue. By the way, I'm going to give that a comment of the show, too, for Abstract. The CT3 got to get the Genie Unlimited Lives code.
You win. Perfect.
We've got Mookie Magic. CT3 must have found a magic lamp with a genie inside. BC Taylor not playing over the last 3 years is the only way to have been helpful to an MLB team. Oh, man. Let's see more down below. We've got CT3 for Willie Mays Hayes. I got my traditions when the entire sport, when baseball starts, I do a 2-day baseball movie binge. Major League 2, Field of Dreams, Bull Durham, and then the best baseball movie of all time, Air Bud, the 7th inning fetch.
Bruh.
Let's go down below. Walker Buehler looking good. He has looked pretty good. Kelly Oshiro for the next Dodger to throw no-hitter says Tyler Glasnow. Beer Samba says, for me, it's between Snell or Yamamoto. Mac and Cheese says Tyler Glasnow, no-hitter, perfect game. We've got Strider, Hear You 120. D-Mac, what does Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Kenta Maeda, and Hiroki Kuroda have in common besides playing for the Dodgers and they are from Japan? Oh, hit me with that one. That's a good. I'll think about it. I like that, though. I like that. Let's see. Joel Rodriguez, D-Mac, who's our center fielder? Well, we talked about that on yesterday's show and our 5 big questions that still need to be answered. And I think it just comes down to, does Hae-Sung Kim make the roster? If he makes the roster and you have Tommy Edman in center field and Chris Taylor's on the roster with Kike Hernandez, Miguel Rojas, Austin Barnes on the bench, that means you can't have Andy Pages. And that Andy Pages and James Outman would start the year down in the minors, and then they would get the opportunities as they become available. So I think right now, Hae-Sung Kim hitting that home run, the defensive versatility, you could see him in center field too at times. But right now, it does feel like if it were today, it's Kim at second and it's Edman in center. If things change, I think Andy Pages, someone that offensively brings more pop, obviously has the chance to be a very powerful hitter that can get you 20, 30 home runs. He slugs against lefties very well. I think the thing with Pages is this. If you have Pages in center, Teoscar in right, Conforto in left, then you have below average defense in your outfield. If you hit, that's all that matters. This team puts a lot more weight on offensive production than what you do defensively, but that's something to consider too. I like this. There's another comment of the show from Jose Del Rancho. Roki Balboa. I like that. Adrian.
That's pretty good,
D-Mac. Adrian. El Machin going, hey, D-Mac, what about the natural? Natural's good. Hey, man. The natural is a solid baseball movie for sure. Definitely one of the classics with Robert Redford and Wonder Boy the Bat. We've got D-Mac. They wear jersey number 18 for the dog. Oh, there you go. I love that. That's a little fact of the day. So I'll give you a nice let's go Dodgers for that one. Strider, hear you. We got Dodgers Nation. This sounds okay. Why don't you just ask me to go to you, Antonio, instead of going to the comments? Because he says, for love of the game is my fave baseball movies.
Oh, I love that game, dude. Kevin Costner. I remember watching that growing up. You know what's a close second? The Rookie with Dennis Quaid.
That's solid.
Yeah, I got that on VHS.
That's solid. That's solid. Yeah. I do my just complete top 10 here. One day, Major League can't top Major League for sure.
Oh, for sure. Bro.
Delirium 9 says Andy Pajes back at AAA is not acceptable. He's a major leaguer. I agree, but just kind of one of the problems with this Dodgers team is there's so much talent and you're blocked at multiple positions. So there's that factor as well. But keep dropping your comments down below. We'll do the 7th inning stretch every day on this show. We answer all your questions, but every show ends on the walk-off.
The walk-off.
And today for the walk-off, we've got this prank war between Dave Roberts and Shohei Otani. Shohei Otani, of course, he pranked Dave Roberts by having the little Porsche in his parking space. Well, Dave Roberts came back with a prank of his own.
Okay. Now tie.
All right, Shohei, you got me the first round. I told you, you know what they say about payback. So what I have done is, you see this pretty face right here? That's me with all these balls. And I put all these balls in your car. So enjoy it. Keep these pictures and have fun cleaning your car out.
You have a message for Doc? Nothing. Nothing? What did you think? I don't know. I did a trouble song.
The vibes are just off the charts. I love that. Shohei Otani, Dave Roberts, they have this relationship. They're doing these prank wars throughout the years. It's all fun. It just shows how happy, how comfortable Shohei Otani is in this organization. And that is a prank. You never saw any of this stuff. Nothing like this. We never saw this side of Shohei Otani with the Angels. The only prank the Angels pulled on Shohei Otani was surrounding him with a roster filled with Anthony Rendon and players that weren't all-star caliber, with a team that never sniffed the playoffs. That was the prank that they pulled on Shohei Otani by having him put together a elite season after elite season, but you're not surrounded with elite talent, guys that can help you win a World Series. And he wins a World Series in year 1 with the Dodgers. So thought that's awesome. I can't wait to see the next prank. I don't know what they're going to do, but they got to do something. They got to do something with the next prank. I mean, we'll think about the next prank, but yeah, awesome stuff. Shohei Otani, Dave Roberts, but tonight is the night. Roki Sasaki is going to be on the mound, and we will be live. First real post-game show of the year tonight. So tune in. Might go live just right after he gets off the bump. But no, we'll go live after the game. Hopefully there'll be some other stuff to talk about too. We'll see how Yamamoto pitches. But Roki Sasaki making his debut in Cactus League play, and we'll be live for the post-game show. But that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Drop your comments down below. Comment Roki Sasaki, Roki of the Year, so you're eligible for our next giveaway. Subscribe to the Discord channel. Subscribe to the Big Lead. And then most importantly, remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.